leaving the house.
Yeah.
But now you're getting that tax write-off.
Yeah.
So there's no rule that you can't employ a parent.
Yeah.
No, there is no.
Yeah.
Nothing I've heard of anything.
Yeah.
But is it wrong?
No.
Yo, because it's part of the rules.
Let me ask you something. Did your parents ever give you an allowance?
Yeah.
Reverse!
Exactly.
And live in it, eat craft dinner for a couple of years, and then rent it out, and all three of us would be rich. We were not taught that.
Yeah.
We were taught work hard in school, get a good job, buy your house, have a family, and a dog.
Yeah.
Okay?
How many
That's
of
not
our-
how.
Did you say under the?
And
You know, teach you that.
outside.
Yeah. That didn't come from a black family. Dog enough to stay in the house, outside.
So let me ask you this.
I don't know how the kids today are going to survive. For example, even on the way here, I'm driving my I love my car, but it's not a nice car. But I was driving on the way here.
I work at a dealer, just so.
Okay, pause for the ad.
No, City Gym, 1900 Victoria Park Avenue.
Nicely done. No, you don't work together. That was nice.
I know. For my sanity. But I still look at myself right now as successful because I'm not in a place where I don't want to be. I'm happy where I am. I have that nice car or whatever it be, but I chose, at that point, I wasn't worried about the house. Now it was my sanity, and I gave myself things. So for me, I'm in a good, comfortable spot. Some may see that, yes, I wish I had that. But that may not be enough for others. Right?
Right.
I have redefined what I consider success for myself.
Yeah.
Right? Based on what I've achieved now, right? There was a time when I was just praying for a good job. I
Yeah.
have a good job, I have a house, I have a pool, I have a very sexy wife.
Salt water. Salt.
It's 38 degrees, son! No, but I'm
You need that pool.
So I think
I'm not inviting you over. I'm not giving you no life.
If I may,
No life
you gotta
jacket.
understand how a lot of our folks immigrated here and understand immigration to Canada for the black person. Don't forget, everyone says, the single family. Don't forget, our families, they were families back home. But all they were taking at the time, your father had to be either computers, something, because all they took was the mother
skill trade.
was
a nurse.
Skill trades. Yeah.
daycare.
Yeah.
So they actually brought all the women and the men stayed back. They weren't allowed to come.
Do you remember why it happened?
I'm getting there.
Go ahead.
So when you look at it and they say, why is the black community all single mothers?
Fractured, yeah.
Because when they all immigrated here, they weren't allowed to bring the husbands if they were not computer savvy, skilled trade, where all the Europeans at the same time as our parents
yes.
were allowed to come as a family unit. Okay? So when we talk about why we are where we are today, you got to look at that first. And that was the Canadian government that did that. And you think about
Trudeau.
you think about how we're talking about getting a nanny.
A little bit
That's
before
what
that.
they're now doing to all the Filipinos. A lot of those Filipino nannies have husbands back home and kids.
Right.
But they can't come right now until you bring them,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then they can come. So they're doing the exact same thing.
It hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped for what it's worth.
But yet, the European, the Jewish, they were always allowed to come as a family unit.
Yeah.
So when you say, how do I look at, the car? Well, you think about back home when there's a hurricane. I have no house, but there's a brand new car in the driveway because I took that insurance money and bought the car instead of fixing my hut. It's a mindset that's been ingrained into our culture. For whatever reason, I got to get that car.
No, but there's part of that has to do with
Status.
another issue. Status and an innate cancer
Yes.
within our community to compete with each other.
But
Correct.
the problem is, I think, we're
Very
overlooking
superficially.
one thing
Go ahead.
with our community, though. We're really about, let's say, 3 generations out of slavery.
This is exactly
And I
it.
think a lot of us forget. If you think about your grandfather, but your great grandfather most likely was a slave, so didn't have nothing, was under ownership, was under a mentality. Because for those of you that were born in the West Indies, the way they were disciplined, that was flagging and beating was
Yes,
the
yeah,
was
yeah.
next to
That's right.
slavery, because
Yeah.
that's what they learned from the master. And a lot of things like those of us that were operators, and sometimes you see people come on the bus. You're a bus operator, or you were a bus operator. If you see a West Indian person come on the bus, the first thing they say to you is, if you're talking, sorry. And I would say, why are you saying sorry? But that's a slave mentality thinking, because when you used to talk to the master, sorry for speaking to you. They have to apologize.
Yeah.
So all these conditioning.
The trauma is fresh.
It is. It's like we're.
I gotta say
That's called
that.
PTSD.
I gotta step up more for a second because Canadian, my wife is Jamaican, and I didn't understand.
Marriage?
Yes.
Just making sure, man. Just making sure.
Turn off the camera.
I gotta make sure it's still
Once
running.
and once over.
Pause for a second. Just opinion here. 9 years in, next month,
Yep.
no plans were good.
Yep.
I just couldn't imagine myself doing this again.
I couldn't at the time, and not to get off this point, but I'll
Yeah, so get back to me on that.
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
But one of the things I never understood until you said this, and it makes complete sense, and you guys can probably all relate to this, but I couldn't understand why my wife and my daughter, they come up to me and they want to pass by. What do they say?
Sorry.
No, they say sorry.
Sorry.
They say sorry. And
Yeah.
I'm always like, why are you saying sorry? What are you sorry about? Just say excuse me. But
In,
that
in
just to me,
Jamaica, it's
that-
sorry.
It is.
It's
right?
sorry.
But that to me is just like a wow moment.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
not,
a wow moment.
And
Yeah.
it's not.
That's
It's
the
not.
transfer
It's
from-
not.
But the thing about
It's
it
not
is-
sorry. It's sorry.
Sorry.
That's what I was trying to say, just didn't sound like it.
Yeah, I'm Canadian.
Conditioning is still very, very fresh.
Yes.
And then a lot of us are now
Yes.
making that switch, and we don't understand a lot
You
of
need
it.
that 3 generations.
And the thing about it,
That's
the
not
thing
that
about
long
a lot of other
Mm.
cultures, we've paved the way for a lot of other cultures that are now benefiting from what our parents just came with. Like my dad came
course.
up first from Jamaica, like did the England, and came up first, and then my mother came as a nurse. and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
you're just saying, that whole thing, and they're basically the same thing. They weren't really taught generational wealth and whatever. It just says, get here to
Survive.
Canada, and then
Survive.
And then
Survive.
where were they
Survive.
told to go live?
Local Jamaica.
No, this Ontario housing project is for you. You were directed to an area.
Actually, no. Actually,
You
no.
noticed that. You noticed I said Thorncliffe, right?
I was gonna say,
Finish what you were going to
I was
say.
like,
Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
the funny thing about it, like
I was
my
born in
parents had,
Thorncliffe.
like, got a house or whatever, because my cousins and aunts and everything. Like, remember when you and I were talking about
Yeah.
the church starting and
Yes,
everything?
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But I said the community was kind of close, but because of the individualism that
Yes.
the Toronto society built up, and then the West Indian mentality, like as soon as you come to Canada, everybody just thinks there was just it's Mecca. And
Yeah.
a lot of American friends found it very interesting when it says they found that West Indians, it says they traveled overseas and everything, but as soon as they came to Canada, then they just stopped. They never went on to progress.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
You
right.
didn't hear it, you can just chill.
Because they arrived,
It's not really
yeah.
that, it's just chill, but
Yeah.
they just didn't think, they weren't given a vision or whatever.
What's
other
the next
cultures-
steps, yeah.
What the other cultures can do. And it was amazing, like, whatever, like, even growing up in the church community, it was like basically, my parents were afraid of universities and they were afraid of certain
But there's
things.
more than that. You're talking about the impact of slavery, and it's
Opportunities.
very real. Opportunity is part of it, right? That's the external influence. I'm talking about the internal influence, and it happens inside the churches, inside the families, inside the community itself. Where, okay, now that I'm here, and I have to look a certain way, because I know that this man is going to look at me this way, or this girl's going to look at me this way, and I need to have this.
We have to dress it to keep yourself out of to take an airplane flight going on.
Yeah.
You have to dress up.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Hot as going to Jamaica, hot as ever. I'm wearing a sweater and tie to go sit in the sun.
And
that mentality.
that's it. And now that I'm here,
I think, sorry,
go ahead.
But
Go.
to what you're saying, I said PTSD. They call it post-traumatic slave disorder.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that, all those freedoms that people seem to have by saying sorry and figuring that you can't do certain things, it's passed down through generations. But it's also an issue of self-worth. Like I had to go through a real, very tangible rearranging of my own mindset about what I deserve to achieve.
That's right.
Like I had to sit there and be like, at one point I was like, I just want to make 80 grand a year. I think that's this was years ago.
Yeah.
And it was okay to live off of that. I just want to make 80 grand a year, and I'm so happy if I can just do that. And then I had to realize, well, why does it have to be? I had to go through an exercise and be like, why the world why can't I be a millionaire? But there are certain cultures where people my age were like, I make $1 million and I'm 25. What do you mean? And I had to wait till I was 30 to be like, no, I want to live this way, and I deserve to live that way.
That's a key point.
I am worth
Yes.
this.
Yes.
And
I
it's
just
so-
wanted
it's
the
so-
job.
it's so-
Yes.
That's a key point.
And then
Deserve.
when I had the job,
Harvey
I just
Specter,
wanted
where he
weekends.
said, life is like this. I want this.
But I had to rearrange, not just want it so I can flaunt it, not just want it so I can buy the car. I had to want it because why can't I deserve it? Why does the Italian guy who's the same age as me or younger, get to make this much money?
Yeah.
Why? And just start there.
Well, okay.
And then you realize there's nothing he has that you don't have.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
You know what I'm talking
No.
about. Stop making that.
I'm not even talking about this, although that's a key
That's
factor.
where I'm coming from.
What I'm
I
saying
had to
is,
first decide,
no, it's something
I had
else.
to first decide that just as much as he deserves it,
Yes.
if you want to say that, I deserve it too.
Yes.
And then you can start working for that.
But
you
what
guys
he
coming
had,
from an equal.
what he had that you did not
No,
have.
I'm not talking
what
about
he had that you did not have, because your father told me as well when I wanted to leave the union. No matter leave the union.
Yeah, you got the same
They're
conversation.
gonna protect you, man,
Yeah.
forever and ever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
But I had to keep going to do all the things that I ended up doing, right? And he's later on, he's like, "All right, you better make a decision."
Yeah. But he's right though.
But my point, and that's my point. That's exactly where I'm going. What they had.
I say don't climb
Hold
my
up.
fault. But in my head, I'm
What
like,
I'm
but he needs to
saying,
learn how to climb.
what I'm
Very
saying,
good point. You're hitting on a very good point.
what I'm saying that that they had that you did not have was no trauma. Right? And
That's why I said,
they had.
I understand that. That's why I said I had to go through an
So they
exercise.
automatically. We talk
Literally talk to
about.
myself,
Wait, we
Dezzie,
talk
why do you
about
wanna make 80
entitlement.
grand?
We
I
talk
wanna
about
make $1 million.
entitlement.
No,
We talk
let's do
about
it.
entitlement and white entitlement and white privilege.
have entitlement,
Okay,
we
hold
cannot
on.
deserve.
White. Do you know what white privilege really is? The lack of trauma.
Yes, I know. Entitlement
Right,
is
and
a
the
lack of-
expectation that opportunity that's right there is mine.
Yeah.
That's
and I
right.
don't do anything for it.
Yeah,
I
and for
deserve
me,
it.
and for me, it's just like you say, because a lot of times you're getting the information from people that came before you, right? And whether they're coming from a place of trauma or safety, right? That's why they're limiting you based off of what they've been through,
Don't go in that water. You're
right?
gonna
Not knowing, and that's the first thing is, do I deserve it? So I'll give you an example. So when I became, I can't even remember now because everything's kind of fused, right? But I think I was maybe the manager of Ked Mansion. None of them has never been there before, right? They ate, I paid the bill, like off the side without them realizing, said, order whatever you want. Don't worry about it. Just order, right? They never experienced that before. And I said, dress up nice because we reserved the table. When we walked in, everybody thought we were a basketball team or something. The feeling they had when they left, right? And I was like, you guys deserve this. And they didn't believe they deserved it. And that was the most powerful thing for me. It's like, we gotta let these people know that, one, they didn't even know that Keg Mansion existed, right? Now you know it exists, and look how you were treated when you walked in here.
Right.
So I think
And the unfortunate part is we had to dress well and whatever to be treated
different
well.
story, yes.
But you
you
guys
deserve it.
deserve this. And I think once we realize that, then you can start moving forward.
Yeah.
And you won't feel bad when you make that
I
million.
had to change my
Right? Yes.
my goal for myself. I had to say, yo, 80 grand. Why
Yeah.
not okay?
Yes.
Why not $1 million?
Yes.
Start there. Like why?
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm not at $1 million, but at
You
the
got
point,
time. You got
I
time.
got time. At the
That's
point
it.
I'm at now, I'm like, you know what? There was a time where I was like, everything I have now, I wouldn't have asked for.
Yeah.
There was a time, everything I have now, I wouldn't have asked for. And now I'm like, okay, this is just the foundation. Like, this is just for the start.
Yeah.
Now I want to go on vacation again. Now I want to go, now I want a summer house in Italy. Yes, I've been there and I want that house over there. I'll come back and get it. But that, like, other cultures, let's just call it out what it is. A lot of people grow up knowing that they can go to the cottage in the summer. A lot of people can grow knowing that they can pay whatever. How much does it cost for hockey equipment?
Yeah.
A lot of people can grow. A lot of cultures can grow knowing that they can do whatever trip to whatever country or school trip they go on.
Yeah.
That was never my reality, and I wouldn't have expected or even tried to do that for my kids.
Yeah. And before you continue, with us, and I always just talk about the Caribbean, even with school. So, it's a regular thing to go to grade school, regular thing to go to high school. For every other culture, it's a regular thing to go to college or university. Not us, because it's how do you pay for it? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? It was nothing for us, man.
Like school outside of school.
Yeah.
Jewish communities have like Saturday schools.
Yes.
Or math club here.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something.
Or some other or some sort of school outside of school on the weekends. They're my niece and nephew on my wife's side. Their agenda for their life is unbelievable. They have school, they have swimming, they have soccer, they have math club, they have instruments that they play, all kinds of stuff. Yes, their parents make money, and their family. The point I'm making is the level that they're starting at to launch from.
Yes,
I wouldn't have prayed for.
You mean ideologically?
You know what the problem is? How many of us had a vision board?
Right.
When you were younger.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
We think we did.
No.
We
really did.
Yeah.
No, you said you wanted certain things, but you never put it out there.
You never put it out there. We never gave ourselves a plan.
Yeah.
Right? And what do they say? You fail to plan?
Plan to fail.
Yeah.
Right? And we haven't been engraved in that. And I speak from the Canadian side, but I also speak. I have to make sure we represent
it's the truth.
Right? But we
Consistent.
Really haven't. Right? We might see or what we think is success, and we see around in others. But how many of us have really had the time where someone sat down and said, "Okay, let's make a plan. Let's have a vision board. Let's see how we can get to that."
Yeah.
Never
But to your point, to your point there, I think on what allows it within our community too. I think I spoke with you about it. Might have briefly. A lot of us come from the church community or like a church background, so then you kind of understand. No matter if you're West Indian, I'm sure all of us can have at least 5 Bible scriptures that we can quote, or 5 hymns that we quote.
That is going to save you whenever something
But I think about it, to your point, is that I think because we were grown up in the church and we always have the kingdom, we infuse them as the same thing. We say church, kingdom, and we think about it in the sense that they're the same entity when it's two different things. Like where I think he was talking earlier about finances and Christianity church. I say it's because the church is one thing where Christ preached, and the kingdom is something that he also preached was more of a governmental order. And to what the Bible says, what we're talking about, it says, write the vision, make it plain. Vision is something that is taught, and it's something where we are not really understanding it. It's not basically, we have to have a vision and say, oh, I want to be a great basketball player. You know what I mean? And then,
speaking of basketball, I'm still in that generation where everybody here thinks Jordan's still the GOAT, right?
No question.
Absolutely.
Right thing, right?
Other than that is
Absolutely.
okay, everything else is foolish.
Go ahead.
Actually, you have to ask the daughter though, just to make sure.
Oh no, I'm a soccer girl. You can't.
Okay.
Where is this logic coming from? Because I'm just trying to understand the logic for
He's
We'll go there after. No logic there.
I have something to say to follow you.
but to your point, I think our community never was taught vision properly. They'll just say, become a doctor, become a whatever, and then they beat you to try and get it, but then they get a structure plan where other communities actually says, okay, this is how you
Here's the plan.
This is it.
Yes.
We just said, get to Canada.
Period.
Because
And here's the thing that
slave mentality, whatever we had and whatever, and the trauma that we do, we never thought about executing a plan.
this is it.
So
It's funny you mentioned that because the verse that kept coming to my head was where there is no vision, the people perish. The people perish. And this is what happened. We landed. The vision was to get to Canada, to get to the U.S.
You couldn't see beyond that.
Okay, we're here. What? What? This is not.
Yeah.
This is the big. Okay, fine. If you want to call America the land of opportunity, sure, it might just be, but you have to land and start running, right?
Did they just
Same
make
thing
illegal
here.
for us though?
Well, we'll get to that.
Hold on, because you're talking about the church and you're talking about getting here. A lot of our parents,
I'm talking about vision. Go ahead.
vision,
Yes.
were in partners,
Yes.
Yes.
right?
Partner.
For those of you who don't know,
Are you
the
talking about?
Canadians in the room.
Are you talking about?
But the way he said it was Canadian though. So he understood it. Partner. I was like, what's partner? What's partner?
So that's how.
Yeah.
That's one of the tools that
Yeah.
our community was trying to use to
Yeah.
get ahead and make moves ahead
To save.
forward.
To save.
To save, to make purchases
To
that
buy
we were,
houses.
that we weren't access to because we couldn't come here and get a loan like people
That's
landing
right.
today.
Yes. Yeah.
So the partner money was the only way that we were able to make
Yeah.
moves forward.
It was
Right.
the system
Now
was
they're
against
telling
us.
us, wait a minute, no, that's illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? You're telling me what I can do with the money I make now?
Did they make that
Yeah.
illegal?
Yeah,
it's been illegal for a while.
It's been, yeah.
How? Why? On what?
What do you
On
mean
what
why?
basis?
It's called restrictions and limitations.
Yes.
Okay. No. The why is obvious, but the how doesn't make sense because if I decide to give my friend money, that's my right.
Listen, how does it make sense? How does it make sense?
Well, that's
for
the
you
that's
to
the fear.
have-
That's
you want to buy a house. You've been saving your pay as your down payment. You need 90. You need to show that money in your account for 90 days.
well, then the partner needs to extend out for 3 months. The partner needs to extend out for 3 months.
Ongoing.
But
It's an ongoing
by the way,
of oppression.
if you think that's not what the Arabs and the Persians and all these people are doing, because guess what? Which 25-year-old has 200,000 in the bank for 90 days so they can
I know.
afford
Exactly.
$1 million
But
house?
there's a way
That's
around
right.
that, though,
That's
that
right.
they don't advertise.
Yeah.
So
If you get that money gifted from a family member, the family member is not required to show proof of that amount being in their account for 90 days. They just need to sign a letter and have the money showed in their bank account and get the letter signed by the bank.
Then-
25-year-old has to just get a letter signed.
Yes. Because it's being gifted from someone, a family member, parent, brother, sister,
Are you sure?
uncle, niece.
If there's a way.
Virgin. How much house am I buy and sell? Right.
And gave it away.
Did you morally?
Stay on topic.
But when you talk about financial literacy, when you talk about where we started from, as our parents came here, that was the start. That's how they got their house, and that's how they thought in their head to get their mortgage, pay their mortgage off, and keep moving on. My parents never told me how to work.
Bringing you to Canada and getting you started here.
That's
was
correct.
An opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
I-
everyone else gets the opportunity as like my parents taught me how to do taxes. My parents taught me about mortgages. My parents gave me a down payment for my house. My parents let me live in the house. I found my own house. But all of those things were not in the cards to certain people.
Yeah.
Just coming here was the launching pad we had.
But for us, this generation, we are now, and I mean, you just learned something financial, right?
that's what I was going to say, Mr. Mayor, is that
I'm
our
definitely
culture
coming to you for that.
always tries to tear each other down,
Yes.
where everyone else builds each other up, because there's not. Thank you, sir. There's not a lot of this.
There isn't, man.
No,
There isn't.
no.
I've been to a few
Yeah.
where each one teach one kind of things, but it kind of just it's a one and done.
Yeah.
Because we try, and then we're like, it's like beating our head against
Yeah,
the concrete,
yeah, yeah.
so we give up. But there's not a lot of this space happening in our culture
Yeah.
to actually educate the other ones. Like you said, you just learned something new, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't do this.
Yeah.
No.
As a culture, we don't do this and try to get together
It's
and
not just
say,
about teaching him something new. Now it's about making sure one of us follows up and says, "Hey, did you learn something new? Did you employ?
Yeah.
Did you execute?
Yeah.
Did you remember?"
The big thing
That's like this man. That's like this man right here.
Every other culture being
Yeah.
like, "Hey, Did you call Neil? Remember Neil's mentioned that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he didn't even call us. He didn't even.
I get mad pissed when
Some,
it's
yeah. Oh, that
Yeah.
guy. He's the worst one of the group because he learned something but didn't do anything with
Yeah.
it. So we gotta make sure. So we calls him. I'm not gonna call him because I'm just gonna.
That's like this man right here.
That's one brother. You see what I'm saying? This is the problem.
Trying to dream out of sudden change.
Aren't you your brother's keeper?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
But that's like this man right here. So I gave him something to do, and I said, listen, if we come here and you tell me you didn't do it, we're gonna have a problem.
Right.
And he did it.
I saw myself in the
It was done. It was done.
And the thing about it too, I think one of our problems too in our community.
Because you're right, we gotta follow up.
We have to follow them. But
Yes.
What we're learning here is that we're talking about strategies. And the thing about it, this is why I say, going back to the church again,
Yeah.
it was a parable that Jesus even taught about the shrewd steward. One that was robbing his master.
Yes.
All his money. And then when the master found out was going to come deal with him, and then he started to say, writing off everybody else's debts and then pocketing, because he was once the master comes, he was going to basically cut him off.
Yeah.
And then when the master found out what he did, he says, "You do pretty smart and pretty good for yourself." And the funny thing I always tell, and most preachers don't really preach it, they'll touch on it because it doesn't make sense. But then God says, or Jesus says, this man knew how to operate the system. But we as a king, God kids, we don't understand the system or even the systems of heaven. So this is one of our problems. We don't understand systems. We just basically want to be spoon-fed from our trauma. What Master says we have to do is basically only working for them, and other communities take it. We're still just acting and operating as bottom feeders.
Well, here's the thing. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. But it is brainwashing.
And brainwashing in the context of, my mom is 91, and to this day, no matter what the problem is, I could be dying. At the end of the day, her response to that, no matter what trouble I'm in or what trouble she is in, you know what? Just rely on God, and God will save you.
Okay. Except one
But
thing.
the concept of God help those who help themselves,
Now I'm gonna tell you
is totally
something.
forgotten.
I'm gonna tell you the story about David, because people don't really understand the story of David. All right, interesting thing, and Paul too. Interesting thing.
I think he was bipolar, but go on. David was bipolar.
You see what happened to his family, right? When the son's trying to marry me and says, "Oh, I analyze the Bible all the way back."
When you look at through today's lens, when you look at
I don't want to cut the story, but I think about when I sat down and look at David as a person and whatever, I don't think I'd hang around him. I really don't think.
he was a dangerous man,
He was a
and I'll tell you why.
I don't. You might have to cut off this.
It's part of the story. Interesting thing, because interesting man. I'll tell you why. To bring it back to what we're talking about, and talking about working a system, right? He was in a situation, several situations, and he took on, or he portrayed certain personas, or took on certain personas as it was required.
Like acting like a crazy man.
When he acted like a crazy man to get himself out of trouble. Right? Paul, totally different situation. He knew he was going to get one piece of rock stone lick. And he said, "Yo, I'm a Roman. I'm a Roman. I'm not Jewish today. I'm Roman." So, and because it was illegal to flog a Roman. And he didn't want Catholics that day.
So in other words, what you're saying is,
Play the system.
We have to be smart. We have to be smart and think outside the box.
Yes.
I have a friend. I have a friend who was a pastor.
Right? Wait. Sorry. My
So I
point.
got to that.
My point is that I know you're.
going
So
to
you're
the
talking about? Are you talking about in the system, or are you talking about loosening our
as a
morals?
culture,
Loosening our
as
defining
a
and redefining our morals.
culture, and you were implying this earlier. We receive information. We are told what the rules are, and I said it too. And we work inside the game exclusively because someone told us this is the game. They didn't tell us. These are the
they
real
told you not
parameters.
to operate. They told you you have to operate.
Exactly.
That's right.
And that's a slave.
And
We're
incidentally,
taught to be right or wrong. We got to do this to be right.
we were
and that to
talking.
be
We were
wrong.
talking about it over
We
there.
weren't taught that there's a little bit of a middle
Hold
ground.
on. We were talking about it over there in terms of how we function in our jobs. We do this because we just want to be safe. Meanwhile, we're watching people leapfrog and all kind of thing. Get education here and there because this job and John Prosser and this and that, whatever. You know? We're saying, hold on a second here. The real game is here. The real game is here. It's out here.
How many of you guys?
So we need to wait. So we need to have vision, so we don't perish.
So for me, just for that, I'm just curious to know how many of you have been to another province out of Ontario? Have you been to all the provinces in the country?
Not all of them, no.
I haven't been to TDI.
So just I asked that because it hit me, I guess, during the pandemic that how limited my thinking was. Like, no, why haven't I been to Nova Scotia or British Columbia? The whole country is mine.
I can tell you why.
And when my parents came, it was
Too expensive
Toronto.
to fly there. Cheaper to fly in the Caribbean.
That's exactly. No, that is the truth.
Why limit our opportunity to the Caribbean? All warm areas.
But that goes back to our trauma.
That's right.
Our narrow vision that has been
That's
passed on to us.
But meanwhile,
lack
when
of
you see
informal
and hear what's
education.
going on, people, I can travel over here, and you gotta go to British Columbia. There's like this place where you fly a plane. Exclusive, Banff. This place, that was a beautiful
But
place.
I think
Who's
that
been there? I've never
is
been there.
open to exposure as well, because when you look at us as a whole, and I'm just using a generalization. I'm not trying to paint anyone as what, but we talked about the money moving around our community once. Okay, we are more concerned with wearing Tommy Hilfiger or buying a BMW than getting those social experiences.
Absolutely.
And that's where because those things show us a status and we've landed.
Yes, and that
We want to
is.
give the money to other countries.
But that is a trauma response
That's
as
a
well.
trauma
So I don't like using that word because it's a sort of catch-all
It's
fun word to use, but it's a trauma
whether
response.
we really are or not.
That's correct, and we're trying to prove that to the friends around us.
When you don't want to do a renovation on your house, do you go find the black-owned construction company, or do you go to the Italians?
You go to the Italians.
So it's not just about buying the. It's not just about buying the BMW or not. It's about keeping the money in the community. It's about saying, I know that there's a black construction.
How much business have you done where our own culture has burned you?
That's correct.
That was my thought. That's another topic.
You're right, though.
No, I must say
It's not. It's because we have a responsibility to ourselves.
So the other day I was at my dad's house. My dad renovated his house years ago using, I call him my uncle, it's not really, it doesn't matter. He didn't do a good job. He really didn't. He didn't do a good job. He didn't do a good job. I was in the bathroom, I was looking around, I was like,
it's falling apart, bro.
I was like, oh my god! I remember when they
My battery died, and
I remember when my uncle did this. I was like, oh my god! How my dad didn't pay for this? And yes, it did come up. And my dad is disgruntled, and yes, he will never do that again with him. Yes, he has been burned. That doesn't mean I'm gonna say I gotta stay away from the black-owned companies.
No, I'm not saying that either.
I'm not saying that, but I do understand that there is a certain level of you still gotta give the opportunity. Like, you have to get over that hump. But you still have to give the opportunity where you want the success to be.
Want the success? Want.
But
But there's a flip side. We have a responsibility to ourselves, and I mean the craftsmen too, because guess what? You see, every day I go outside, I'm not working for myself. I'm the only black guy in my entire. I realize it's frightening. Thank God I realize I've gotten past the PTSD, post-traumatic slave disorder, where I continue to count how many other black people are in the room, right? I still do it periodically.
I do it.
But I used to do it all the time, and then I'd freeze. I don't do that anymore, because screw them. Okay?
I never had that. I've always walked into a room and I said, you know what, I'm here.
That's
Fuck
it.
you.
That's
I'm
it.
here.
And that's what I said. But that's exactly.
No, any room I walk
Hold on.
into at TTC.
But it took a long time.
I'm the
I
same.
walk into
But
a
it
room,
took.
I'm the same.
You were like that.
Yeah.
But it took a long time to get there.
There's one thing I'll ask, because we go around the room and we have different ages.
Yeah.
So there's going to be, I think, a time, and it could be for each person, it could be different. But there's a time when you decide, age-wise, that certain things you will not stand for.
Tolerate.
Right? So ideally, obviously for the older gentleman in the room, we want the younger gentleman to find it sooner.
yes.
Yes,
You want
yes.
them to find it
Yeah.
sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good, Jim.
Older,
And ladies.
we are more limited.
No, she needs
We're
it
more
now.
limited
Yeah.
at the time that we have now to affect that change.
That's it.
But really, it's about, once again, so I'll just kind of put the question out to everybody. At what age do you think that you started thinking,
30.
30.
Yeah, so I always say 20. I always say 27.
Yeah, I was ready.
27 is when the younger kids will start saying dad and mom were correct.
Yeah, yeah.
That's about the age where they start realizing, yeah, you know what things they were saying, or if they have kids, they start doing the same thing their parents used to do.
Yeah.
Right? So it's about 27, and I think it's about 40, mid 40s is where you don't care anymore. I think that. I think that. Yeah, I think this one's going.
That's when.
real quick, have you guys seen, it's a social media thing, but it's one called the I Don't Care Club? Have you ever heard of that?
Check it out.
She
Yeah.
is funny,
I don't
but
care.
she's right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll get real quick what it is. It's a woman, I suspect she's in the States. But
YouTube
basically,
this?
it's part of, it's called the I Don't Care Club.
YouTube?
No, Instagram. Instagram.
Okay.
See, I Don't
Yeah.
Care Club. And she goes on there and she posts things that other women have decided that they don't care about. Like, you get to a certain age, I don't care that the fact that my hair is hanging down and it's not just the way
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Oh, I don't care. Like, and she lists off all the stuff. And there is a point where you get to a point where you say,
Yes. I don't care.
It's got to be late 40s.
right? But you know
No.
what I mean? Like, it's
For ladies, it might be that.
So
Yeah.
For us, it gets
To
to
your
but,
point,
but the
there's a
point that I
saying
was making.
I came up with, by the time a man realizes that his father was right, he has a son who thinks he's wrong.
True enough.
That's everything I'm
But,
doing.
but the point, and it's interesting because
Yeah.
I had to get to that point. I hit that point. I started to really move through that point from 38 to 44. I'm not that much older than that. Right, exactly. It's late. But I'm going to tell you something. I look in the room and I'm like, well, screw all you people. I realize what I know and realize what I've done. Right?
Yeah.
But the point I was going to make about responsibility to each other is this. I don't go out there to work for myself. I go out there to work for every single one of you because if I screw up, the next one of you walking in the room, they're going to say you're a
Yeah,
judge too.
yeah.
That's
So it's funny that we talked about because I'm in a predominantly white male business
Yeah.
in the car dealership world. There's very and now, it started to now there's different. But when I show up to meetings and I look at around the table, I'm the only one that looks like me.
Yeah.
I don't feel a fucking way.
Yeah.
Excuse my French because I
Yeah.
know I earned my spot at
That's
the
That's
table.
right. And you know your shit.
Yeah,
That's it. That's it. That's it.
But ask your younger self, at what point would you be more concerned? Or can you
Right.
identify when you might be more, you know what I mean? Like, there's
When
no
did the
way-
switch happen?
You go, click.
When did the switch
So
happen
the
for
switch
you?
for me actually happened very young
Okay.
because I grew up in Durham. Okay, so I know many of you grew up in Scarborough, Toronto. I grew up in Durham. When I grew up, there was 5 black families in our area.
Okay.
So when I went to a job interview, I was like, most of my jobs, I was the only black kid there.
Yeah.
So I realized when I had the power to do what I do and do it well, my father gave me 2 pieces of good information. The first piece of information my father gave to me was this: whatever you do, whether you're going to be a street sweeper or be the best.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm sure many of our.
Yeah.
The second information my father gave to me was, don't hold up an argument with an idiot.
Yeah.
Because someone from the outside can't tell who's the idiot. Don't hold up an argument with an idiot. Somebody from the outside can't
That second part is the reason why that makes sense.
That means idiot for you Canadians. I said that means idiot for you Canadians.
Okay. Can you spell that, please? Can you spell that?
It starts with an A. It starts with an A.
H.
Apostrophe.
So when I
Depends on how big the idiot.
how many idiots can you turn out with idiots?
You put an H. If it's a small idiot, just an idiot.
There's 3 E's and I'm big idiot.
And no age.
Yeah, no age. But growing up in Durham, being one of 5 black families, going for job interviews,
Yeah.
and getting the job and looking around and being the
Yep.
only black person, I'm like, okay, I know my shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to speak on it unless I know it.
Yeah.
Because my father gave me that information to say, hey, whatever you're doing, do the best. One of my first jobs where I realized that I was that was Canadian Tire.
Okay.
Okay? I was one of one. But I worked in hardware, and I can tell you where to find something by the 4-foot section.
Right.
Aisle and 4-foot section. Because that's what my father did.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right? That was the conditioning I got.
Yeah.
So that's how I took life on. So when I landed in a room, just like you're saying, Mr. Boston,
Yeah.
you couldn't challenge me to push me out the room.
That's right.
Because I damn well earned my spot.
That's right.
I deserve it.
I deserve it.
But now I ask you the question: what about the craftsmen that come in here? Right, the black men, the black companies, the black tradespeople
Mash up the renovation.
who come in. Who mash up, no, it's not a joke. Who come in?
Yeah.
You
But then you
want
attribute
to bring them in, and every time you give them a chance,
They screw up.
Yeah.
But the
So-
thing about it, to that point, I think we have got to
it's not every
hold
time, but you have to
ourselves-
keep the right ones in your pocket.
Yeah, and we have to
And
make
share
ourselves. We have to make ourselves accountable. And until we start to say, you know what, you can't ride it just because of the color of your skin that I'm going to give it to you, because you're going to make the ship sail. I got to go with what works. Not that we're ignoring our crew.
That's
but
correct.
We got to, because like me being a supervisor, I talk to some operators, and every time I ask them, same thing, when you want to come over this thing, oh, I don't want to do this thing.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
always tell them, I said, don't focus on the Heineken weekends. You got to
Yeah.
think about it. I said,
Yeah.
because I said,
Yes.
look around and see what's happening.
Yeah.
If you guys don't start waking up and getting yourselves into position, you're soon going to be dictated to what happens because you're going to be outnumbered.
That's right.
And you know where I'm
That's
coming
correct.
from.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have to do that. So basically, we have to bring ourselves to the standard. It was like when you were an operator, you were instructor. Your nickname was the Black Widow.
Darth Vader.
You had the standard.
Yeah.
And everybody, even when in other classes, they would talk about you and say, he has a standard. It wasn't that you were doing it, but it's basically a standard
correct.
had to be met.
That's right.
And I think about it, even you, Andrew, people talk about, before you and I met, people always talked about your
That's right.
standard or whatever. And I think we have now got to say, you know what? You have to have the standard. We have to keep the standard, maintain our integrity for our people, and it's who
That's
we are.
correct.
But
That's correct. So
how do you
hold on.
How do you
So-
proliferate that? Sorry, man. How do you
Yeah.
proliferate that so the others do that? So when you bring someone, you know you're going to
We
get
have to be
quality.
willing to forgive and
Sorry,
forget.
we have to have stuff like
Yes,
this.
but
Right? Because for me,
Okay.
I set the example. Because you never saw me at TTC without my crisp tie and my jacket on. Never. And my shoe polish.
So one of the
Right?
but-
Yeah. Chris with a K.
Just
Yeah.
talk about the other side of that.
Yeah.
How people would always be like, "Oh, look at him showing off," or "Oh, look at him because
Yep.
he's crisp looking."
Yeah, but I
Who's he
didn't.
trying to prove?
But it
didn't
didn't-
bother you. I
It
know
didn't
that.
bother me.
I
But
know
at the
that.
end of the
I'm
day,
talking that
at the end of the
negative
day, a black
talk
community
Yeah.
has to
because they were
decide.
jealous.
Yeah.
Are we going to
I-
inflate or are we going to expect?
No,
Have to
Yeah.
decide.
but there was a
You
negative
cannot-
side to it too because our own people were just like, this guy's not keeping it real.
No, that's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
right.
yeah.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
One
You're right,
question,
you're
one
right,
question,
you're right.
one question of color.
Yeah,
White collar, blue collar.
either.
White collar.
But but what I'm saying is most times when we look at what we need to achieve, we think blue collar.
Yes.
We think blue collar. I'll be the boss of the blue collar guys. But the white collar isn't.
On the table.
That's not for me.
That's correct. That's correct.
And that's that.
That's correct. Listen, so this is what this. You see the shirt?
I need water.
Dixon?
It says Dixon Legacy 40, right? And I did this purposely, and it's mainly for my kids, right? It has nothing to do with bigging myself up or anything, but Tommy Hilfiger, Gucci, Givenchy, what are those names of? Families. Houses. So why am I wearing Tommy Hilfiger, who everybody knows is a racist? Why am I wearing Da Vinci? Why am I wearing Louis Vuitton and I can't wear my own name on my chest?
You know what's funny?
So I made this. I gave it to my brothers. I gave it to my thing, and I said, "This is what you wear when you walk into somewhere." So everybody's like, "Who's Dixon?"
You have an identity now.
Yes.
And you know what? You know what's funny?
It's
to
so
that point?
important
And
that we-
You know what's funny to that point? I'm in the process right now.
Yeah.
Of trying to design.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It sounds God.
Family
but I don't
crest.
care.
Family crest.
for me and
I
my
So
was-
why
I was
did
doing
three
that.
boys.
So hear me.
I'm
Okay.
designing a three-line
doing that.
logo.
Hold on a
Signet
second.
ring logo. And the reason
Why do you say it sounds gaudy?
Because I know there are certain classes of people who are gonna be like, "Oh, what do you think you're doing?" So I don't know.
You see what I'm saying?
I know.
But
again,
you
I'm
shouldn't
wrong.
even be thinking that.
No, wait a minute.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
let me finish. So,
Yeah.
There's two things that have to be decided among the black community. One thing is this, and I'll speak to your. I'll call it a logo, and it's a brand.
Yeah,
You
yes.
create a brand, you create a house, you create an identity for everyone coming behind you
Yes,
to
yeah.
fall under. It's a protection, it's an expansion, it's a foundation, it's a launching pad. That's
Yes.
what that is, and I want my three boys to have it.
Yes,
My three
yeah.
boys are gonna be three lions, and that signet ring.
I love it.
That signet
I love
ring
it.
that I have. It's an old Roman tactic.
Yeah.
A signet ring was more than the family itself.
Yeah.
If you had it, you had a name, you had authority. I want my kids to have authority before they even know they have it.
So you're creating a signet ring
tried
right
to
now.
design
So a crest.
A crest. Sorry, a crest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Crest. I meant to say that. Sorry.
I'm piggybacking off my brother and also piggyback off.
But let me just say
Yeah. Finish. Yeah.
20.
You mentioned
20.
how do we move
Canadian.
forward, knowing that there's going to be these DVD DJs who might do our jobs.
Yeah.
These DVD DJs who are black and do our jobs and they screw things up and we can't use them as references or we can't refer them to other people because we can't put our name behind them. At the end of the day, I refuse to believe that there aren't weak links in the Jewish community, in the white community,
Yeah.
in the Chinese community.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
are.
yeah.
But the community itself is so big, so expansive, and so forgiving that that even though there's a weak link over there, we're gonna talk to who sucks at construction and sort him out.
Yeah.
We're gonna sort him out.
But
Together,
Danny,
as a community,
that's a
and he's gonna
cultural
come work
standard,
with
though.
his uncle. He's gonna come work with his uncle to learn how to lay those bricks properly.
Yeah.
And then he'll start his own business.
But that's
so the
the
point I'm
cultural
making is
standard.
the decision that is this: do we insulate and isolate and try to succeed individually,
No,
or do
you
we
can't.
open up, forgive the weaklings, and bring them under? Because I'll be honest right now, every Arab I know is a pharmacist, a doctor, or whatever, and they all suck. They know
Let
what they're
me
doing.
tell you though.
Yeah.
But they get
Let me
through
ask
school
you.
somehow.
I
And
get
it's
it.
because they study with
I
their
get it.
uncle or their cousin
Yeah,
or their
yeah,
friend
yeah.
over there.
I get it.
And
It is
it's
important.
cultural. It's
Go
a
ahead.
community.
Real quick while you talk about
Yes.
the crest net. Way back, I used to kind of, once again, you have different little business ideas and stuff. So one of the things, in kind of to jump on what you said, I was looking at a T-shirt thing. So I used to design. I had this little scrapbook, and I'd have this design. But one of the things I came up with, and it kind of goes right in line with what you're saying. So one of the things that I came up with, and the reason why I came up with it was the name My Kegel. My Kegel is M-Y as in my, and legacy spelled backwards. Never got anywhere, but it made me just come back to it. But that's really one of those things that we need to have.
Get it off the ground, man.
Right?
Get it off the ground.
I can't wait to get
funny you say that.
press code.
It's
I'll
funny
let you know what I come up
Because
with. I'll show you.
Let me know, man. Let me know.
I've done exactly
Because I'll follow that template to do it for us.
I started a business.
ChatGPT to
Okay.
help me design
Yeah.
Register the
my
name.
crest for my
Yeah,
family.
I
Yes,
did,
And
yes.
I'm gonna give my kids a necklace with
So
that
I
logo.
love it. I love
And they
it.
will fall under that.
I love it.
100%.
I'm gonna follow that.
You
man.
make it unique, right? You make
What's
it unique.
that?
Yeah.
But I never
Okay.
went and got T-shirts done and stuff like that. But I still remember the My
But you
Kegel.
know, everybody in this room, your family crest ends at your slave master's name.
Yes.
I looked
Right?
mine up.
Like I
I was
have,
like, I don't
like
want
you
that.
walk in my front
I don't
door,
want that
Yeah.
one.
the Boston family crest is right there, and it tells you all about the Boston family.
On all the components
Right?
in it.
My
what
kids
they
know about Boston, but that's not who we are.
Yeah.
That's the slave master
Yeah.
that I have up on my wall.
mean. My family name, Dennis, is my boy's name. But the crest that they're going to carry is going to be mine, Ainsley, and they're going to fall under it. And they're
But even
anywhere
that
they go.
name, our name ends
That
at a
Ainsley.
number on a
No.
slave.
But hold on,
You
hold
don't
on,
know
hold on.
your
But
name.
I'm
Hold on,
saying
wait,
is
hold
I'm
on.
reinventing
Sorry,
what
guys,
it
sorry, guys,
means
sorry.
for my kids.
Sorry.
Yeah.
When I was working on it, and again, I didn't finish it. I'm in a position to finish it now. Right? No, I'm in a position to finish it now.
No, don't tell me you're in a position.
No.
Finish it. Finish it.
So much time.
Don't talk.
It's funny. What he said. My father did in my office in there. There's 30 things my father said, and one of them was, "If a task is once begun, never leave it till it's done."
Yes.
Be it great or small, do it well or not at all.
That's an ingrained nursery rhyme.
I know.
Yeah.
But it just and then after they said, "As for you, naughtiness is born in the heart of a picnic, but the rod of correction will drive it."
I don't know, man. Of course. All I do is picture the belt when I see that.
All of it.
When I said brainwash, this is what I talk about.
What do you mean?
No, listen to what I'm saying. The concept of, and I've heard all of you talk about it, but the church. The church is one of the biggest brainwashing institution there is.
Yes.
That is the reason why a lot of people came here from the Caribbean.
It was used.
And where did they go?
It was used.
They were associated with people from the church. And what did they do? They used that to say, for those people who didn't know any better, said, no, you can't go past this, because if you go past that,
God-fearing. Where did that term come
right?
from?
So everybody was kept in
check.
And just to add to your comment there, I feel, because again, just like everybody here, I agree with your sentiment there in terms of a certain level of brainwashing. Because even to the level where I'm limiting the concept of my creator, right? We say God is this and no further based on what we see in the Bible. That's a really big, short-sighted mistake. Because I feel that's what the ancient Israelites did when they were prophesying the coming of Jesus.
Yeah.
They had this whole idea of this guy. And he came and said, no, you can't be it.
Well, Jesus had locks. Did you know that?
Yeah, but bigger picture.
Okay.
They had
So
this
did Samson.
idea.
So did several.
Idea of who Jesus would be. And when he came along,
But I think that you to your point where you say they're brainwashing, I think it's because what they did or what the slave masters did, they know that the Africans and we as a black people were very spiritual. So they know that it's spiritual. And once they basically reintroduce who we were, because basically they cut off, if you really they cut off us, our connection with our forefathers and everything, and then reintroduced it to us through Renaissance and everything. And said, this is who it is. So we had no idea who our concept of what we really were doing before they came in, because they never founded religion or anything. They just took it and grabbed it. So then they basically doctored it for their benefit. Because even look at the Catholic Church. The Catholic,
It was manipulated.
Yeah.
when you see books circulating,
But
how to
they
turn
took-
a
but they
Negro
took- they
into
took
a
truth and
Christian,
bastardized
or
it.
the black person's Bible.
But if you look, but if you look at the Catholic Church, it's got all the opulence. I mean, gold gates
That's
and
right.
everything.
Yeah.
But they make us, or they'll make priests make a vow of poverty, or make a vow of poverty.
Yes.
But all the opulence and everything. And I mean,
No, but
the Catholic Church.
but they took the truth. They took the truth and
They have their own. They have their own foreign
Well,
exchange
used it to control people.
They're well.
That's right.
So I'm saying basically, if you really start looking at the Bible and looking at, like I was saying about the kingdom thing, well, first thing that one of the biggest first commandments that God said was, be fruitful, multiply, subdue the earth, and have dominion over it.
Yeah.
That's basic. That's not a spiritual worship.
No.
That's basically kingdom principles and basically leadership, strength, decisiveness, and actually being proactive.
Action. Yeah.
Action. And we've always taken the we've always,
Hear that? You thought I forget? You think I forget?
Why is that? Say it again.
fruitful and multiply.
We've always just taken the church and think we just got to do the worship, but we never look at the basically being dominion leaders.
What our responsibility?
But we never take it because like one of my mother's always things like you said, for the peace and love that Jesus said. Let them go on. Let them go on.
Let them get to them one. I'm still waiting for them to get there.
I used to say, let them dig up my eyes, and then.
You know what I like?
And
You know what I like? Again, stuff they don't teach. Stuff they don't teach. You teach gentle Jesus, meek and mild, but only at Easter, and in the wrong context, they talk about when in people. Rocks going and drop dick everywhere.
Yeah.
And that was not gentle, Jesus making mild.
No, but they don't mean he tore up the place.
He ripped up the place and tore, literally
But
tore
you're
talking about Jesus at two different times.
No, but
As a baby and a
Pardon?